We've just lost a giant of cinema. Robert Redford, the legendary actor, director, activist, and founder of the Sundance Film Festival, has died. Redford passed away peacefully in his sleep on September 16, 2025, at the age of 89. His death occurred at his home in Sundance, Utah, a place he loved deeply, and a place that became central to his legacy as both an artist and a visionary. The news was confirmed by his publicist, although the cause of death has not been disclosed. Robert Redford was more than just a movie star. He was a cultural icon, an Oscar-winning director, a mentor to generations of filmmakers, and one of the most influential voices in the world of independent film. He was also a lifelong environmentalist and activist who used his fame to fight for the causes he believed in. Robert Charles Redford Jr. was born on August 18, 1936, in Santa Monica, California. He grew up in Van Nuys, in a working-class family, where his father worked as an accountant and his mother cared for the home. As a young boy, Redford showed talent in sports, especially baseball, and dreamed of playing professionally. But tragedy came early. At just 17 years old, his mother, Martha, died unexpectedly. That loss would shape him, leaving a lasting impression on the themes of loss, resilience, and humanity that later appeared in his films. In his teenage years, Redford drifted. He struggled with alcohol, lost his scholarship to the University of Colorado, and was expelled. Searching for direction, he traveled through Europe, painting and studying art in Paris and Florence. For a time, he believed he would be a painter. But fate eventually pulled him toward the stage. Returning to New York, he enrolled at the American Academy of Dramatic Arts. There, he began acting in theater. His Broadway breakout came with Barefoot in the Park, a romantic comedy that showed off his charm and charisma. That stage success was adapted into a film in 1967, opposite Jane Fonda, and it launched Redford into stardom. His first film role came earlier, in 1962's War Hunt, but it was his late 60s work that cemented him as a leading man. And in 1969, his career changed forever. That was the year of Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Starring alongside Paul Newman, Redford played the outlaw Sundance Kid. Their chemistry was electric, their wit timeless. The film became an instant classic, and Redford became a household name. The partnership with Newman returned in The Sting, in 1973. The movie became a massive hit and won Best Picture at the Oscars. By then, Redford had become not only a star, but a symbol of an era. In the 1970s, he solidified his legacy with a string of defining performances. In The Way We Were, opposite Barbra Streisand, he captured audiences with a heartbreaking love story. In The Great Gatsby, he became the mysterious, tragic Jay Gatsby. In All the President's Men, he played journalist Bob Woodward, chronicling the Watergate scandal and the fall of a presidency. That film was more than entertainment, it was history. Robert Redford was not just a pretty face on screen. He chose roles that wrestled with morality, truth, and human vulnerability. He brought intelligence, charm, and depth to every performance. In the 1980s, Redford turned to directing. His debut behind the camera, Ordinary People, stunned the film industry. A quiet drama about grief and family silence, it went on to win 4 Academy Awards, including Best Picture. Redford himself won the Oscar for Best Director. He would go on to direct several more films, each marked by his eye for storytelling and his gift for capturing beauty in both characters and landscapes. Among them were A River Runs Through It, Quiz Show, The Horse Whisperer, and The Legend of Bagger Vance. But Redford's greatest gift to cinema was not a single performance or film. It was Sundance. In 1981, he founded the Sundance Institute, followed by the Sundance Film Festival. His mission was simple but revolutionary, to give independent filmmakers a platform. To allow new voices, outside the Hollywood system, to be heard. Sundance became the heartbeat of independent cinema. Directors like Quentin Tarantino, Steven Soderbergh, Kevin Smith, Ava DuVernay, Damien Chazelle, and so many others launched their careers there. Redford created more than a festival. He created a cultural revolution that changed American film forever. Off-screen, Redford's life was filled with both love and tragedy. He married historian Lola Van Wagenen in 1958, and together they had 4 children. But their first son, Scott, died as an infant from sudden infant death syndrome. Decades later, their son James, a filmmaker and activist, died in 2020 after a battle with cancer. Redford and Lola divorced in 1985. Years later, in 2009, he married Sibylle Sagers, a German painter. Together, they shared a life in the mountains of Utah. Outside of cinema, Redford was a tireless activist. He worked with organizations like the Natural Resources Defense Council and the Wilderness Society. He campaigned to protect public lands, to fight climate change, and to preserve America's natural beauty. He believed the environment wasn't just scenery, it was part of identity, heritage, and survival. He also supported Native American rights and encouraged political engagement, often using his platform to amplify voices that might otherwise have been ignored. Even in his later years, Redford continued to perform. In 2013, he starred in All Is Lost, a nearly wordless film about a sailor stranded at sea, which earned him critical acclaim. In 2018, he appeared in The Old Man and the Gun, which he announced as his final acting role. In that film, he played an aging bank robber whose charm never faded, a fitting farewell to the screen. On September 16, 2025, Robert Redford's extraordinary journey came to an end. Tributes poured in immediately. Jane Fonda, his longtime co-star, said she could not stop crying, calling him a beautiful human being who represented the best of America. Meryl Streep described him as one of Hollywood's lions. Mark Ruffalo revealed that he had once written Redford a heartfelt letter but never sent it. After his death, he shared it with the world, calling Redford a mentor and a man who changed his life. Directors, actors, environmentalists, and political leaders all echoed the same sentiment: Robert Redford was more than a star. He was a guiding light. So how will we remember Robert Redford? We will remember the man who gave us timeless classics like Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, The Sting, The Way We Were, and All the President's Men. We will remember the director who brought us Ordinary People and A River Runs Through It. We will remember the activist who fought to protect the environment and defend public lands. We will remember the founder of Sundance, who gave independent filmmakers a voice and reshaped American cinema. And we will remember the man who endured tragedy but kept creating beauty, who rose from struggle to become one of the most respected figures in film history. Robert Redford is gone. But his influence is everywhere. In every independent film screened at Sundance. In every landscape he fought to protect. And in every theater where audiences still sit in the dark, watching his films and feeling changed. Rest in peace, Robert Redford. Actor. Director. Activist. Visionary. A man whose light will never fade. This has been a special report. And before you go, if you want to continue following these major stories, make sure you check out my recent video on the death of Charlie Kirk and how the suspect was arrested. It's a powerful story you don't want to miss. Subscribe to this channel and give this video a thumbs up and also share it with your friends and community. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.